Hi everyone, happy Saturday, midnight. You know I'm here with the midnight stuff, so I'm not going to be too long. I'm going to be short because it's late. It's 12:30, and I know some of you guys are probably going to bed, but if you want to catch the replay, you can watch on Instagram or you can watch my YouTube, which it will be on my YouTube later on this evening, straight afterwards. So let's just cut right into the meat of things. Hello, good evening to everyone. So I'm just going to refresh my page and we'll start. Okay, so here we go. So global confirmed cases for COVID-19 around the world. The global confirmed cases are at 531,446,425. The global death toll is at 6,297,683. U.S. confirmed cases are at 84 million 84,724,329, and the U.S. death toll is at 1,008,422. So let me repeat these numbers again. The global confirmed cases for COVID-19 around the world is at 531,446,425. The global death toll is at 6,297,283. U.S. confirmed cases are 84,724,329. And the U.S. death toll is 1,008,422. And as for vaccine doses, 316,352 Americans got their first dose as of yesterday on a 7-day average. And once again, we are at 221.4 million Americans fully vaccinated. So that is 67% of the population. So why I'm saying all these numbers, over 500 million people around the world have COVID. Over 6.2 million people are dead from this virus around the world. The USA, which is 4.2% of the world's population, have the most cases of COVID on the globe, which we account for 25% of these cases. And we're at over 84 million with the death toll over 1 million, a shy over 1 million. And I'm saying this because people are still not getting it. Unfortunately, we're scaling back off of mask mandates, but I won't be surprised between now and 4th of July, you will see a surge to the point where everybody's going to have to go back to mask mandates, and reopening process even more will be much longer. People think we're in this reopening phase. Some jobs are still hybrid and still function on a hybrid model. I know where I work at, we're still functioning on a hybrid model because to mitigate and practice mitigation and to reduce the number of cases of COVID, because the cases are surging again. There are big cities that's entering the red zone, and I won't be surprised the city that I live in will go right back to mask mandates indoors. I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised the whole country will go back to mask mandates in large gatherings until we get this virus under control. That's what it is. So people spreading all this misinformation about the vaccine and about COVID and wearing masks is not going to help. You're fucking lying. You're fucking delusional. And you're fucking stupid. You got to say it like that. That's the point. It's nothing further. Nothing further to say. Moving right along. So, more mass shootings. Buffalo, Uvalde, Texas, now Tulsa, and just more shit. So a doctor killed 3 people. You know, you got these quote unquote MAGA people saying, well, it's a black man this time, blah, 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 blah. No matter what, a mass shooting is a mass shooting. And it's all motivated by manifestos and just by fucking craziness. That's why Congress, and I'm so glad the president called this shit out and say, we need a ban on assault weapons. It's been a long time coming. It's been mass shooting after mass shooting for like over 20 something years now. And for the last 10 years, it's just been out of control. Out of control. The last, 15 years have been out of control. It's been too much. People are tired. People want something done. At this point, you put your ideology aside. And see, this is where I have a problem with the Grand Insurrectionist Party, formerly known as the Grand Old Party, the Republican Party. They tout their patriots, right? Like they're patriots. They care about people. We are the party that freed the slaves. No, it was Abraham Lincoln and Abraham Lincoln only. We did this and we did that to better black people. But since my existence of living, the Republican Party has been the party to cut programs that give people a leg up, to protect the most vulnerable, which is black and brown people in this country. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And in 2004, when I was 18, I will never forget Republicans let the ban on assault weapons expire. And it was under a Republican president, too. So when the Grand Insurrectionist Party touts their patriots, they're not patriots. Because if they were patriots, they would come up with a bill to ban assault weapons, or better yet, would never let the ban on assault weapons expire. So no, the Grand Insurrectionist Party of 2022 are not patriots. They're advocates for the Second Amendment, but they're not patriots, and they don't care about black and brown people in this country. No matter how many black candidates they have running in their party, they don't care about this country. And they don't care about the most vulnerable. And that's all I have to say. Now, getting into the midterms, I told you I was not going to keep you guys too long. So, midterms. So we got some upcoming midterms, Tuesday. And, not midterms, primaries. We have primaries coming up this Tuesday. That's how tired I am. We got some primaries coming up Tuesday and key races. And I'm going to just pull up to see how many races that we have. Primaries on June 7th. So, according to Ballotpedia, California have some primaries in some key areas, such as the 27th Congressional District. You have Mike Garcia, who is the incumbent on the Republican side, is facing his challenger on the Democratic side, which I believe is Christy Smith. Yep, Christy Smith is competing. There's a couple Dems running against him. Also, for Attorney General in California, you have Rob Bonta as the incumbent, and he's being primaried. You have the Los Angeles mayoral race. You have Karen Bass. You have Joe, I forgot his name, Rick Carsola. Oh my God, I'm messing up everybody's name. And there's some places in Iowa. You have the big governor's race in Iowa. I believe Kim Richards, I think that's her name, is being primary. And you have the Iowa Senate primary with Abby Faulkner challenging Chuck Grassley. And also there is a Republican primary. So there's a couple primaries coming up on June 7th, and that's on June 14th in South Carolina. And then, of course, June 28th, you have my state that has a primary going up. Hey, Yvonne, that has a primary. So I'm just going to make it plain about these primaries, and some people may not like what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. With these primaries, I would like for my party, the Democratic Party, to stop chasing Trump voters. Stop chasing the voters that already have their minds made up. Because at the end of the day, they have their minds made up. They do. Those same Trump voters, most of them, they're not going to vote for the Democratic Party. They're not. And they're not going to. And that is that. And I would like to say for my state in particular, New York State primaries. I always like to say this to my state, the people that are running on the Democratic side. Stop chasing the Trump voters. Stop chasing the majority of white women. Focus on the African American and the Latino community. Those are the biggest populations in the state. Those are the group of people in the Democratic Party that will turn out and vote for you. Not these white people. Because their favorite white person is not running. Some of them are pretending to like the incumbent, but they don't really like her. So I would like for the candidates, including the incumbent herself, stop chasing these voters that are not going to vote for you. Focus on the communities that will canvass and come out for you. That's my advice. Wagwan Queen Lion, happy Sabbath to you. Happy Sabbath to all people. Happy Sabbath to all people. And why these primaries are important. I would like to say why they are important and why all these races are important. These races are important because, in technicality, the legislative branch make and pass the laws, not the president's office. So whatever these dumbass progressives are spewing, don't listen to them. Go out and vote. So that's my advice. And speaking of this favorite time of the show, time to read. I have a message for progressives out there. Progressives out there. I have a message. The executive branch, their job is not to legislate. Their job is never to legislate. It's to enforce laws that are made and passed by the legislative branch. That's the House and the Senate. So when I hear these progressives talking about cancel my student loan debt, or I don't vote, or the president not canceling my student loan debt is like the cops waiting outside during a shooting of 19 children. How fucking gross. But I would like to give a little sharp lesson to the progressives out there. And some centrists and moderates that think that it's the president's job to appoint a new AG because that particular AG is not doing their job. So it's a little lesson. You know, you can always watch Schoolhouse of Rock. You can get that information to listen. So, to all the progressives and some centrists and moderates that refuse to be dumb, we got 3 co-equal branches of government. You got the legislative branch that make and pass laws. That's the House and the Senate. And once the bills are passed in the House, which is the lower chamber, it goes to the upper chamber in the Senate. And once the Senate gets a unanimous consent and overwhelmingly votes for the bill, it goes right back to the House. The House votes for it again to make that final vote. And that bill is sent to the president's desk, which is the executive branch. And once the president signs his dotted signature on the bill, the law is enforced. Now, if the law is deemed unconstitutional and, unlawful and yada, 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 the judicial branch, which is the Supreme Court and all other, courthouses and judgeships and whatnot, examines the law. They examine the law, which is either constitutional or don't fit into the Constitution or just not lawful, period. So let's all explain this in less terms. Since, me explaining it, in big words, doesn't help you guys and you don't understand. So I'm going to put this in simpler terms, in elementary school terms, because you should have learned this in 4th grade and much on, about how our U.S. government works. So we have 3 co-equal branches of government. We have the legislative branch, which they make and pass the laws. We have 2 legislative chambers in the United States on the federal level. We have the House of Representatives and the Senate. The House makes a law, goes on the floor. Once it's made out of committee, they pass the bill, goes to the upper chamber. The upper chamber votes for it at a unanimous consensus, and it goes right back to the lower chamber. The lower chamber makes a final vote. It goes to the executive branch, which is the president's desk, put the dotted signature on there, and once that signature is on there, the law is enforced. Now, if the law is deemed unconstitutional, the judicial branch examines the law. That's their job. And if they see that the law is constitutional or unconstitutional, they make their final say on that particular law. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's how our government functions. It's something called checks and balances. This is exactly why a great historian always says, read a damn book. Or I should say, read some damn books, because that's what she says. Because a lot of you guys seem to not understand how our government works. The president of the United States of America is not a king. Why do you think we had the American Revolution? So we don't have to live under a King George-like style country. Yes, this country may not be the best. But guess what? We got 3 co-equal branches of government. We elect these people to do their job. And if we don't like them, we take our little asses to the ballot box. That's what we do. That's what we do. But back to the progressives. I'm going to say this. As a person with student loans, if my student loans don't get canceled first, that's fine. Because there's other shit that's going on in this country. Let's see. We have voting rights. That's very important. Because without that, shit ain't moving the fucking goalpost. We have, let's see, our abortion rights, marriage equality, the loving law, Brown versus Board of Education, which should have went second behind the voting rights. Either way, we got all these issues and Ukraine on top of it. The last thing that I'm worried about is my goddamn student loans being canceled. And the last time I checked, there were some loans for 100 borrowers were canceled under this administration. You think you're really going to get it from a Republican administration? Think the fuck again, because what the Republicans, aka the Grand Insurrectionist Party, what they're trying to do is eliminate people that look like me. Putting the muscle on a pussy. So y'all go ahead with that, die on the hill with that one, while the rest of us is voting to survive. And speaking of voting to survive, I've been getting criticized because I put out a tweet saying black women are the base of the Democratic Party. But there's one particular person I would like to address. So this one particular person decided to, clout chase of my tweets because I have nearly almost 20,000 followers. And I have that many followers because I'm just me, of course. But I want to draw y'all attention on this shit. So this person's name is Vita, aka Podcast Babe. And I don't want to repeat things in her bio, but she is a podcaster. And she's problematic. She's said things about the vice president, try to clout chase so that didn't really get that much traction because she just sucks, right? Well, when I tweeted that black women are the base of the Democratic Party, we organize, we mobilize, we vote, we do that, period. She said, this is literally nothing to be proud of. I have nothing to be proud of mobilizing and organizing. That's what she told me. And another person said, she's basically saying, we love our manipulator and says the abusive relationship because we are writers. Never said that, but whatever. She got mad because I took screenshots of her tweets, of the bios of her tweets, because I said, I guess her following hasn't progressed at a pace it should be due to the fact that she's a clout chaser. She's a clout chaser. She is. And there's evidence that she's a clout chaser. I have all the receipts. And then she said, I'm lost, y'all. What the fuck is she talking about? How I'm a clout chaser and how do these two pics express that? If I was clout chasing by saying black women being the base of the party isn't something to be proud of, why intentionally promote my page? First of all, nobody's fucking promoting your page. You don't have as many followers. And I went back and forth with this hoe and whatnot. And she said Democratic bots are going nuts. First of all, to Podcast Babe, whatever the fuck your name is, I'm not a bot. Obviously, I'm a person. I'm real. 2, I don't give a fuck about you. I'm not trying to stalk you. If anything, you came under my post trying to clout chase for your weak ass content, which still hasn't progressed from 2020, 2021, and now. So who's the fucking dumbass? Who is the weirdo? And who is the loser? Because one of your followers said I was a loser too. But intentionally, or not intentionally, you are a loser. You're clout chasing on hating the vice president and black people that vote for the Democratic Party. I'm going to need for you to come up with some new content before coming for this one. Because trust me, I hit below the belt. And I don't want to. But if you force me to, I will. But I'm going to just say this to Podcast Babe. So, Podcast Babe, if you're listening out there, I'm not a stalker. You're nothing to be excited about. Your content is trash. I heard your interview with the dude. It's a piece of shit. And like I said last year, the vice president is not a bitch. And you coming after me, you and your little bots, proves that you're threatened by me. And the only reason why you came after me because I have a large following. Something that you're trying to get with that weak ass podcast because nobody never heard of you. And I have not seen you being featured on anything because nobody gives a fuck about you. So stop dick riding for the people that you follow because you follow crusty ass Katie Harper and them, the bitches that don't give a fuck about you because they don't know you. So stop clout chasing, as I said, and work on yourself. You know, like, these bitches. And I don't call no woman no bitch. But she called me a nigga. And I'm not a person of a low-class mentality. As you can see. As you can see. And the fucked up part is she is a black woman. Well, she's an ashy one because she needed some lotion on her motherfucking face. That's the reason why. See, I try not to be a nasty ass. I try not to be a low ass motherfucker, but that bitch brought me to no end. And she need to take that fucking pin tweet off from 2020. Bitch, it's 2022. Get some new fucking content, ho. Like, seriously. I'm so tired of these hoes. I am. I'm truly fucking am. Very tired. Yeah. You know, like, she deserved all that shit. She deserved all that shit. And speaking of the foundational black people, let me just give you a history lesson. We're all from Africa, boo. If you want to get technical, we all from Africa. We just got shipped to different islands. I got shipped to the Americas just like y'all. I got southern roots just like some of y'all dumbasses. Okay? So this foundational black American shit, it's some white supremacist, gear talking MAGA shit. Because if you really want to get technical, we're all from Africa. And we came here involuntarily by the same people that y'all cheerleading for. So y'all all need to shut the fuck up. They need to learn some history. They need to read Dr. C's book. They need to take Dr. C's class. Like, these foundational black Americans need to take a class. They need to be taught. They need to go back to school. They need to read the book by Dr. Chronology. Oh my God. Keep effing up Dr. C's name. But they need to read her book. They need to buy her book. That's all I'm saying. And those people, yeah, they're Republican operatives. They are. They suck. No problem. Like, I try not to drag people on here, but some people, they had it coming this week. They had it coming. And another group of people that had it coming. You know, I'll be getting the white voters. Everybody thinks like, oh yeah, I get the progressives. I get everybody. But these white centrists and moderates they're a piece of work too. They're a piece of shit too. Because these are the same ones that came after black women running for executive offices, but cheerlead for white Republican women that stand up for democracy. I'm gonna need for y'all to make that shit make sense. And there's another thing I want to tell y'all. Stop retweeting the Lincoln Project. They're not your friends. For the 18th fucking million time, those motherfuckers are not your friends. The Matthew Dowds of the world, the Steve Schmitz of the world, the Rick Wilsons of the world, Liz Cheney's of the world, the Adam Daniel Kissinger's of the world, they're not your friends. They will never be your friends. Because at the end of the day, they're not going to advocate for the Democratic Party. They're not. So stop fucking retweeting them. Jesus Christ. Talking about black Americans like when they were black Republican. Yup. That's right, Enrique. And don't talk shit about Republicans. They sure don't. And the Republican Party is the party that's the one that wants to bring us back to the 1950s. I'm going to need for people to make their politics make fucking sense. You know what I want people to do? I want people to start reading some damn books. Like Dr. C say. If you read some books, your train of thinking and the shit you spew out of your mouth will actually make some fucking sense. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Kissinger voted for and voted against the addressing the gas issues. He voted against the ARP. I'm pretty sure he voted against the infrastructure bill. He voted against a lot of shit. That's why I don't fuck with him. That's why I don't fuck with him. And for those who are mad at me because I tweeted something months back about Adam Kissinger, I was right. Why are people like standing up for him when this man literally votes against everything that this country stands for? He voted against the Voting Rights Act. He voted against the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. He voted against the addressing the gas prices. He voted against the ARP, the infrastructure. He voted against so much shit that Americans stand for. And the VRA. Why the hell people keep retweeting them and people keep praising him and Elizabeth Cheney? I don't get it. I don't understand it. But they're not your friends. And they will never be. Point blank, period. And guess I'm saying their whole fucking name because that's their name. Elizabeth Lynn Cheney, Adam Daniel Kissinger. That's their fucking name. Remember it. Listen, they create their own boogeyman in Trump. That's what happens. He sure did. And Liz Cheney is the old Republican Party of the bigotry. Her and Adam Daniel Kissinger. Kissinger is the Tea Partier. I still remember that shit. And all the shit he talked about President Obama. I still remember. People who wasn't born yesterday. I'm old enough to remember. Shout out to Brian. I'm old enough to remember when Adam Daniel Kissinger voted against everything that President Obama stand for. And talk mad shit about President Obama. I'm old enough to remember. This is why I make my business to... Yep, call him out. Yep. Dressed in nice clothing. But I am about to end this. About to go to bed. Peace, deuces, good night. Thank y'all all for staying up. Go to bed. Get some sleep. Yep, indeed. Enrique. Have a good night. Thank you all for watching.